Pakistan's federal government says it is trying to cut wasteful spending and keep the budget under control.
कफायत शारी अब इख्तियारी नहीं बल्कि हमारी मुश्तरका जिम्मेदारी बन गई है। इस मकसद के लिए दिन रात मुशावरत और काविशें जारी हैं।
The Finance Minister Mohammad Aurangzeb has now asked the Parliament to approve 3.684 trillion rupees in extra spending. This is called supplementary grants. In simple terms, the government makes a budget every year. Parliament approves how much money different ministries can spend. But if the government spends more than that or moves money to a different area, it has to come back to Parliament for approval. The problem here is that much of this approval is being sought after the money has already been spent. That matters because Pakistan is under pressure to keep its finances in order, especially under its IMF-backed economic program. Ordinary Pakistanis are already facing higher taxes, expensive electricity and fewer subsidies. So when the government asks for a record extra spending, it raises questions about how strong its budget discipline really is. The size of the request is also much bigger than last year. Last year, Parliament approved 895 billion rupees in supplementary grants. This year, the amount is 3.684 trillion rupees. That is more than 4 times higher. So where did the money go? The biggest share went to debt servicing. That means payments linked to government borrowing, including interest payments. For Pakistan, this is one of the biggest pressures on the budget. A large part of federal money goes into paying debt, leaving less room for health, education, development, and public relief. The second major area is the power sector. Pakistan's electricity system has long needed government support because of its losses, unpaid bills, subsidies, and circular debt. This is one reason electricity prices keep rising for consumers, while the government still has to keep putting money into the sector. Other major areas include subsidies, defense, education, health, law and order, poverty support, and civil works. Some allocations stand out. The government released money for defense-related needs, including helicopter spare parts, border fencing with Iran, internal security duties, and naval-based development. It also approved money for power distribution companies, education funds, university bailout packages, vaccine purchases, the Prime Minister's Ramzan package, and development schemes for M&As. There were also funds for PTV, an English news channel, Pakistan Virtual Assets Authority, the Pakistan Digital Authority, and Asan Khidmat Center. The Finance Ministry says this spending could not be delayed and could not be covered from the original budget. But the bigger issue is budget credibility. If the government keeps coming back later with large, extra spending bills, then the original budget does not give the full picture. It also limits Parliament's role. In many cases, lawmakers are asked to approve spending only after the money has already gone. Some of this spending is treated as automatically approved and cannot really be voted down. For Pakistanis, this affects daily life. When the government overspends, it can add pressure on taxes, borrowing, inflation, and electricity prices. For international lenders and investors, it raises questions about how well Pakistan can control its spending. The 3.684 trillion rupees in supplementary grants shows where Pakistan's real budget pressures are coming from. Debt payments, the power sector, subsidies, defense and emergency spending. It also shows why Pakistan's budget problems do not end on budget day.
जनाब स्पीकर, ये मेरे लिए बड़े एजाज की बात है कि मैं इस मुअज़्ज़ज़ ऐवान के सामने हमारी हुकूमत का तीसरा बजट बराए माली साल 2026-27 पेश कर रहा हूँ.
The speech gives the plan. The supplementary grants show what the government actually ended up spending.